Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Smash Vros Podcast. My name is Alaric, aka the Alaric app or Lyric. Peep the merch and peep Smash Bros. And today we have Rudy, aka Marmusa, Cypher, and a special guest right under me, Tofu. And so today we're going to be discussing the new era of Smash kind of deal, more or less the aspect of mental health and just getting a bigger, I guess, message or kind of feel insider into the realm of Smash. So, yeah. What do you guys want to talk about first?
All right. We could go ahead and do like a introduction,
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of, because I know for the OGs who've been here, it's been a minute,
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of reiterate. I mean, Alaric is self-explanatory, um, because he's you guys are fans of him. But I'm Musa, close friend of Alaric in real life. He kind of got me into playing Smash. Really, my brother, like he was kind of the reason of everything behind this. Just to reiterate on that, that's why it's called the Smash Bros. Um, I'm a Falcon main. Some of you guys know me. Um, so I've been playing him for about a year now, and I'm just kind of here. Just I love kind of talking about I guess the mindset behind Smash, and just kind of like in the dissecting the psychological stuff areas in that in gaming really.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to the boy Tofu.
Yeah, tell us about yourself. You're new. It's your first day out here.
Yeah, what's up, guys? I have never even been on anything like this before, like a podcast or anything, so it should be fun.
Hmm.
As you heard, I'm Tofu, HLG at the end. And yeah, I main Samus, I guess, for doing our mains and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She's fun. I've played her for too long.
So
I
what?
feel like that's a lot of people at a certain point. You just feel like you've played the same character forever.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also great.
So wait, what does the
Yeah.
HLG stand for?
It stands for a whole lot of games.
Oh,
Big hole full of games.
yo, Liberation with the Pogfish emotes. What's up, man? How you doing? But yeah, so what was your? I don't know. What was your first tournament experience? I know Cypher's not in here yet, but he will be.
Oh, I'm here.
The first
Cypher.
tournament I actually. Oh, he's here.
Oh my
Nice.
God, Cypher, say something. We got to know about you, man. You're here.
Yeah,
Oh,
just to kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
like,
I'm just assuming y'all know me because I came in here last time. But yeah, my name's Cypher. I've been playing Smash since '64, not the year, the game.
Dang,
I
old.
was playing competitively since Brawl. And yeah, just real quickly, I met Lyric through just the lockdown, really, and just finding like a way to keep the grind going. And then I met him in one of his tournaments that he hosted, and um, he actually commissioned me for some designs, and our relationship just blossomed from there.
Yeah,
That's
that's
beautiful, man.
that's beautiful, man. You're gonna make me cry. All right.
You gotta love the homies.
awesome.
All right. So now we can move on. What was your first tournament like, Rudy? This is actually really cool because I was with you at your first.
Yeah. So I feel like that was an entirely different experience, just because I had I didn't have anything at the time. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's a different era. You know. But I think the what I really wanted to talk about was the tournament that we did last time, because like I
Oh,
feel like I was ready. Like I was like, all right, bro, I'm finna kill this,
Smash
and
Bros. Weekly 9.
I ended up, getting washed, and it was just like, all right. So I kind of sat like as I sat in the chair, bro. I kind of looked. And I'm like, huh. I wonder how many people felt like this when they first played, and like they prepared, they put in time, and then all of a sudden you go in, you choke, you know. So how do people deal with this? And you can kind of see from just people's behaviors, you can see that they react very negatively instead of just looking back and just say, huh, what could I have done? Kind of looking at things from an objective standpoint instead of just getting their feelings of all like,
Mhm.
oh, I could have easily said, put in so much time with Falcon, I grinded, and then I don't deserve this. Wi-Fi is bad. I could have said all of this stuff, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think just dealing with that with the first tournament experience for everybody, because I think that sets the precedent on how you look at Smash from that point on.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a positive outlook on your first tournament experience and you're willing like to humble yourself and just say, hey man, what could I have worked on? I think that would have set your own mindset on just Smash in general versus seeing a negative like, oh man, this is bullshit, this character's high tier, this, that, and this. You know, like I feel like that takes away a lot from the experience.
Tofu, what about you, B-Dog?
My first tournament experience?
Yes.
I played in a brawl tournament at a anime convention actually for the first time. For any first tournament ever, they had this big room with like CRTs and monitors just laid out in rows. It wasn't all Smash, but it was. I think this room was specifically fighting games. And they had a dude that was like at the con running stuff, and he was like, "I want to do some tournaments. We got like 4 Street Fighter 4 setups. We got like 5 Brawl setups. Let's do some Smash and Street Fighter stuff." Mm-hmm. And me, him, my buddy at the time, Mochi, and then I think Dragoomba, if you know who that is, he's a Rob mate now. We basically were like, all right, let's make a brawl tournament happen. And so we walked around the con, at least I know I did, and we ended up getting like 63 people for a brawl tournament.
What the fuck?
Off the fly at a con. I mean, it was an anime convention. There was a lot of people walking around. Obviously, people are going to enjoy Smash Brothers. And I remember playing in that, and it's just so weird to think back compared to, even nowadays, locals are very like meticulously set up. They're very clean. You have the stream set up. You have this side of the table. You have that side. You have all the setups laid out and stuff. But then, even at a big convention, it's just a crowd of people around a CRT. And the feeling is a lot different, honestly, from even just, that was like 7 years ago, I think. 2013 that was.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Golly.
And so, personally, I remember I did pretty decent. I got 3rd at that tournament and lost to Dragoomba and Mochi, the people I was talking about. And Mochi at the time played Bowser and Marth, which at the time for Brawl was not seen as very good. Marth was not seen as good until halfway into Smash 4. Like, people found out Marth Brawl is just, oh, he's just crazy. Like, he's just, you can swing 4 forward airs in a short hop. It's crazy. So yeah, I remember we were on, what's the Metroid stage that flips real quick?
Fuck, I know what you're.
Was it Frigate Orpheon?
Yeah, Frigate Orpheus. That was a legal stage at the time. So we went to that for I think it was game 4, and the stage flipped on last stock. I think I was playing Diddy or Marth, and he was playing Bowser. I was at like 3%. He was at like 130. The stage flipped, and I just died. The stage, and it just killed me. I was like, well, that's the breaks.
Damn.
Like, everyone just bursted out laughing. I remember taking a second and being like, you got to be shitting me. I just laughed at everybody else. It was like a very, very cerebral just, that's really how I lost in one of my first tournaments. I think it was technically my second, but the first one was like tiny. It was like 10 people or something like that.
I wouldn't even be mad, to be honest. Hey, you killed yourself and not him.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Overall,
hard.
No, I wanted to win. With Cypher, what was yours like, man?
Yo, Tofu. So first I want to say, like, yo, I straight up relate with that so hard. Like, going to Frigate Orpheon, that shit switching and flipping, it's like, wait, I just died from the cheese. So, like, my story is somewhat relatable. So it's like 2 tournaments, mainly because one of them kind of opened my eyes to the competitive scene a bit. And then the second one, it was like the first tournament where I was like, all right, I'm self-aware, I'm in this, and this is my first, like, official competitive tournament. The first one was actually a Melee tournament. This is before Brawl came out, and this was when I was like in high school, I think. And this was actually at a friend's house, and his house was packed from like the whole basement was packed, and then there were some people on the first floor too, and there was like at least like probably like 60 people in his house. It was
Jesus
ridiculous.
Christ.
And this was like very grassroots Melee tournament scene sort of deal, and this was way back when when Poke Floats was legal, back when like fucking Rainbow Cruise was legal. So like somewhat relatable with Tofu Story there, and I ended up doing like okay. I don't remember what placing I got. I think it was like just at the cusp of top 8.
Yo.
Um, and but it was ridiculous because I mained Fox at the time, but this was back when I didn't know any of the the staple tech where it's like very basic stuff like wave shining and multi shining into like up smash, all that stuff. Like the only thing I was able to do was like L cancel sometimes like and I was like, oh, in my head it was like, oh, I'm the greatest person uh in the
Yeah,
region.
You got
that's
sauce,
right.
bro. You got
That's how everyone
sauce.
Yeah.
is.
So that event sort of opened my eyes because I got straight up bodied. Because I was like flying through the bracket, and then when I finally lost, it was like almost a JV4 stock. And
Damn.
sorry, no, almost a JV5 stock because
Oh my.
melee was 4 stocks.
Oh,
So
dude, if it's melee and you're fighting someone better than you, you just get beat. That's how that game works.
exactly,
Yeah.
because the skill gap is crazy, and the ceiling to be actually competitive is really high. So after that, just quickly, long story short, after that, it opened my eyes to the competitive scene, and it made me realize like, oh, the world is a lot bigger than I thought. So then, very shortly after Brawl came out, and then I started to take that game super seriously because I realized that I was eons behind in terms of melee tech. So I was like, all right, let me focus a lot on this new game. Let's check it out. And I ended up being pretty decent. My first tournament was Poly Brawl, one of the Poly Brawl tournaments. It was like in Brooklyn.
Damn.
And then no, sorry, it was actually the one before this. It was some random tournament in Brooklyn that Deadly Alliance was hosting. I don't know if you guys are aware of them, but
Jeez.
like Deadly Alliance, they're like a big part of the scene in New York at least, and like the legendary Wes was the host of it, and I didn't do too bad, and then that just like made me motivated to keep continuing.
Mm.
Dang.
So
Yeah, that is definitely like a very similar situation because that brawl tournament that I did well at, my eyes were like, oh, I'm good at this game. Oh, okay. I kind of stood up against Dragoomba and he's seen as really good. And then I went to a real localized, organized tournament. And this was like, I think it was 2 weeks after Smash 4 came out. And I went there and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stick with what I know. I'm going to play Marth, maybe a little bit of Samus. I really like her. At the time, I was like, I really like the way she moves. And I like that dash attack in this game. I can just dash attack up there and kill people. It's fun. So I went there with the mindset of like, I think I can do pretty good. I'm going to try to get top 5 out of the 32 people here. I went 1 and 2.
Damn.
I got my shit kicked in by the TO and went, oh my God, I am not that good at this game.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I feel like we all have very similar.
Children that have never played this game before and then went to a real tournament and got my ass beat.
right, I think for this is for both of you guys. Actually, no. I'm gonna wait for Larry to finish.
Huh?
Because
Oh.
I know you haven't talked about your tournament experience.
Oh shit! Yeah, my first tournament. Soel. It was with Soel. We literally drove. Yeah, I love this story. But me and Soel ended up driving all the way out to like a college campus where both of us are fucking dropped out of school. Both of us are dropped out of school. I'm going to a whole different university I've never driven to. It's like a 3-hour trip over there, and I bring my giant ass TV, the one that I gave you that fucked up. And we have to carry it all the way across like a freaking like huge campus. We're going to one of his friends' dorms to warm up. He's a Wolf player. Shout out Drew. And I just get some games in with them. I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna get my shit pushed in, but I'm still trying to figure out, how to play. We get to the venue, and I have no idea what the fuck's going on. To be honest, I had never been to a tournament. I was scared. I was nervous as hell. We go up in there and I just start playing people. There's a doubles thing first. I end up playing against Chili and another dude in the first round. And Chili, if you don't know him, he's the best player in Alabama. He's the best player in Alabama. Me and Soel go up against him and his teammate. I forgot his name. I think it's Murph. And so we play against them in doubles. We get our shit pushed in. It's terrible. Then I'm just like, yo, we could go somebody else. We go with somebody else and we kind of almost win. But he tried to play Kirby Pitt. in doubles. Yeah, we got fucked.
And
Next,
the score is Smash 4.
yeah, next round.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that
next
sucks for the game.
it sucked, but yeah, next game, I at this point I had no idea that our second round, I had no idea the dudes that were asking us to play were our opponents. So we were just having fun. I was having fun. We were talking some mess and stuff like that, and the games are close. You know, I wasn't really trying my hardest, and I was just like, yeah, like these dudes offered to play us, so this is cool. We like shook hands and everything. We're just like, yeah, it's gonna be. We end up going like 1-2, I think, and people are just like, well, that's it. So I was just like, well, that's it. I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, when's our next round? It's like that was our next round, dude. I'm like, what?
Oh, you didn't know at the time it was double.
Yeah,
ELIM?
I didn't know. I didn't know that. I didn't know that we were playing like our dudes. I knew it was double elimination, but I had no idea that.
Oh, you didn't know it wasn't friendlies.
Yeah. I
I thought it
hella-
sounded like that before.
I hella thought that it was friendlies, and so we threw really hard, and so it was the hardest loss I've taken. Like, and so I ended up playing.
Damn.
I ended up going and just playing my hardest in the tournament. I ended up getting 1 DQ, which was great. So I actually didn't get. I didn't go 1-2. I went 2-2 technically. Played against
Let's go.
yeah, played against a dude named Artificial that played Corn. Pushed my shit in, but it was close. It was close, but it was hard.
Still.
Even then though, I still think that Corn's a hard matchup. But yeah, then I play against a Joker player. We go on his setup, and I 2-0 him somehow. I don't know what the fuck I was on. I think I just didn't want to lose. Ended up making him cry on his setup, and he just ran out of the venue, which made me feel bad.
Well,
Yeah, let me.
oh,
Yeah, I was. Then I played against Murph. Murph is a Fox player. There's another dude named Murph who retired. Or no, I played against Jank. What the fuck am I talking about? I played against Jank, and he still beats me in locals. But he played Link, and it was just hard. So yeah, that was my tournament experience, the first one. So I went 2-2 and got 49th out of 110, give or take, or I think it was the 49th out of 101, somewhere between that. But it was a really good score though for my first local. I know other people
yeah,
get,
it's good.
and especially for like being that in, especially for the scene to be already that developed. Like it was already a year into competitive Smash, like for Ultimate. So me going in there and be like, yeah, I'm gonna act up kind of deal, and seeing my progression from like doing that to like, as you said, the convention thing. Like I went to an anime convention right before COVID hit, and there were like 30 people in this tournament, and I got second in both and almost won my almost won
Yeah,
the second
exactly.
tournament. Like it's just
Yeah.
they it was fun, and I actually beat my bracket demon.
Okay.
I beat my bracket demon. He was a Bowser player, Brad, and he actually looks up to me a lot now. And just seeing the progression from that and actually getting second on my locals now from like a month or so ago, it's just the difference in the development is crazy. So I definitely am happy that I didn't give up and that I had people like Soel, people like Rudy to motivate me to keep pushing and doing these tournaments and stuff. Because
Hell yeah.
Now I wanna ask you guys this because I think because that's a perfect transition. So, do you guys think it would have been any different if you guys just told yourself when you guys lost, "Fuck this game,"
yeah,
right?
I would
Do you
be.
guys think this game is bullshit? Like, I'm gonna just go
Oh
ahead
yeah,
and say,
but
when you
you smash right there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
like, how would you guys like? Do you guys think it would be any different? Like, if you got to this point, like at this point in time, do you think things would have been differently if you just told yourself at that moment, "This is bullshit"?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
no.
think absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like put in my couple cents. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure we all been there where it's
Mhm.
like you absolutely get obliterated, and it's like, what am I doing? And that is usually a pivotal point where you as a player start asking yourself so many questions. And if you don't ask yourself so many questions, you should. The
Yeah.
number one question, in my opinion, as a player that's been playing for so long, it took me a long time to finally ask myself that question. It's what am I playing for? Right? Like what's your end goal? Like what are you looking for? Right? And if you don't know what you're playing for, then then of course like the smallest things are going to bother you, and of course those huge losses are gonna sting that much more because you don't even know what you're in there for, and on top of that, you're feeling like crap. And a lot of the time, people are playing to, just get better. Some people just literally just want to play to win.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of sides to this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I guess for you, Tofu, what was, I guess, like, when was that, like, when you, after your first tournament, you think that was a pivotal point as well for you, like, on how you're gonna approach Smash
Oh yeah. I
from that?
think it was really after that first Smash 4 tournament that I went to, as opposed to the Brawl one, because like me and Larry were talking about, I kind of, even then at 13, 14, I understood, no, I think I was like 15 or 16 at the time, but anyways, I understood that this is just more of a fun tournament at an anime convention. We're all just having fun here.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went to a real tournament where everyone's really trying and they want to win, it changes your perspective of, oh, these people are also playing this much. Like, I've heard so many people at a local, at my stream, basically anybody that tries to play Smash competitively, they'll be like, I play this game all the damn time. I'm playing this game every day, and I'm still going 1-2. What am I doing wrong?
Damn.
And my first thought is like, well, you're playing the game a lot, and that's important. But like what Cypher said, why are you playing the game? What is your motivation to get better? And are you doing the right steps to actually get better competitively, or just physically play the game faster?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because a lot of people will play 6-7 hours a day, but that's all just friendlies with other people online. And you're playing the same dude for 4 or 5 hours of that, and you're learning their play style a little bit, but you're not sitting there reviewing your VODs. The biggest thing I think that has helped a lot of people I've seen is right after you lose, like the minute after you lose, if you are able to, go review that VOD. Even if you're salty, it's good if you're salty. If you're salty, that's fine. That means you have passion to get better. That means you have the emotion that you wanted to win. Being salty isn't a bad thing. It's how you act when you're salty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, go review that VOD. Even if you're not like emotionally stable, review that VOD and realize this is why I'm salty. This is why I fucked up. This is why I did this. Even if you're already like feel bad about the loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just to like really piggyback off of that, like you mentioned, like right after you lose, yes. Like that's the most
It's fresh in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the most important time to do it, because as soon as you lose, it's fresh in your head and you're gonna forget about it. Trust me. If you just tell yourself, oh, I'll look at it later, oh, I'll think about it later, take down notes and also ask your opponent right away, hey, do you have any suggestions? Don't be afraid. But yeah, Lyric, you want to say something?
Oh, no. I wasn't ready. I was fixing the filter for my...
Oh, the focus.
Yeah, the focus.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this is your thing. You could just jump in. You can
No.
cut me off.
Definitely, you guys hit like really crucial points. Like, I think you kind of like knocked out the two topics out of the ballpark. You guys' views on the longevity of the scene. I do want to touch on that a little bit, and just how to deal with loss. You know, how you guys dealt with loss, especially just during the pandemic, because I feel like a lot of players now, like, because we got, since we're forced on this lockdown, I think it really, like, a lot of us have these questions, like we have all these questions, but we don't have the answers to, because I guess nobody ever showed us how to deal with it, and that's why. What were you finna say, Toe?
Oh no, I was responding to somebody in my chat.
Okay, my bad. But yeah, like that plays a crucial part in just how to deal with that stuff.
Yeah, if I could jump in on that, like,
Go ahead.
I'm actually gonna disagree. It's almost the opposite, where in this era, it's actually definitely the opposite, because you're in the era of the digital age, right? And I remember we were talking about this like very briefly earlier on, where it's like there's so many resources, and this is a more abundant time than any other time. There's resources there for free, right?
Yeah.
And way back in the day when there was no way to uncover frame data, you had people like M2K like literally sitting down with a paper and pencil and writing down frame data, dissecting the game, and just knowing the game inside out, and then providing those knowledge out there. But other than that, there was literally no other way to know these intricate details of like what's plus or minus on shield, etc. What's the frame windows I have open. So during COVID, during the pandemic, the lockdown, I think this is a time where it's the opposite, where people are actually forced inside, but they're inside on their computers. They have access to internet, assumingly. Like even third world countries, you've got people from third world countries that are playing this game competitively against other people that have a very rich, a rich scene.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you would never ever see a PGR player being able to play another player, halfway across the world, because they simply wouldn't. You would simply not see them on Wi-Fi. This is
Yeah.
an era where people would swear against. Well, just before this, people would swear against Wi-Fi. It was like a sin almost, where it's like, oh, this is shitty. I'm not going to play Wi-Fi. I'm not a Wi-Fi warrior. Wi-Fi warrior was almost a curse word.
Oof.
But nowadays it's like it's the norm, and you've got
So
people like
yeah.
Dark Wizzy that's playing on Wi-Fi now, and he's actually embraced it. Now he's playing doubles a lot, and he's actually pushed the meta for doubles ridiculously and tremendously. And that probably wouldn't have happened. Things like that, small little events like that wouldn't have happened if we were all still playing outside, because you know you don't have
Definitely.
you don't have little Timmy all the way in, like, I don't know, Washington DC, that's like playing his game, and he's actually, little Timmy's taking the game seriously now because his
Yeah.
eyes are open. And remember when I mentioned where I had my eyes open, that eye opening moment where it's like, oh, the world is bigger now.
Mm-hmm.
But little Timmy has always been stuck inside, and he wasn't allowed to go outside because of his parents or whatever, or because he's underage, and it makes sense for him not to be outside too much. But
Definitely.
But
now
yeah,
he's inside, and he's able to play all these other players of this high level caliber, and now his eyes are open. Now he's able to play
little Timmy's in
PGR
Ryuga Court
player.
now.
Yeah, and that's like you were saying about that there's just so many resources out there. That's one thing too, and that's for the players who have that clear sense of direction. You know what I'm saying? But it's just about, like, I know, so there are others that don't really have that direction. Like, I've watched a lot of these Smash videos, especially like the psychological part of Smash. They don't cover these topics. They don't give us that, like, direction, like, how do we approach this, and this. So some people don't really know how to deal with that. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like we're giving them like a template on, all right, this is what you can do. This is how you should approach, like, when you take a loss. Are there some people that's gonna listen? Nah. Are there? But there's gonna be a few that's gonna really take that to heart and be like, man, you know what? That's that. Like, I really, maybe I should take this approach. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because
I strongly believe that it depends on how seriously you're taking the game, and like if you really have the drive to get better, and again, like back to like asking yourself what you're playing for, because like if you're playing the game to be the very best Smash Brothers player in the entire world, obviously you got to take the right steps to get there, and you are gonna like finally click on that stupid ad you get for proguides.com, or you're gonna finally click on these like random stuff you see online, or oh, I'm gonna click on this Iza character guide. Okay, yeah, sure. Because it's all there, those resources are there. It just really goes down to like, are you gonna take the steps to do it? And before, if you do take the steps to do it, those steps are a big leap to get to, right? Nowadays it's just a click away. So that's definitely my viewpoint on that.
I agree on that part, man, because there is a lot of stuff out there that, there shouldn't be an excuse to not to push your character even further, or just push your push your game state further.
Yeah, and I think even to a point we're getting to this like edge of information out there, and how easy it is to find it, where you'll still have players like, and I know a lot of people see this as a sign of like, oh, this person really doesn't actually care to get better, but I think it is, and it's kind of falling into this Netflix, Hulu, but with video game tutorials, where there's just a dearth of information out there that it's really hard to find specifically what you need to get better for yourself. You'll look up Peach tutorial and there's 50 videos that are all different.
Right.
So a lot of people will come to me and be like, how do I get better at Smash? And while it sounds like a blanket statement, and you're like, oh, there's all this stuff that you can get better, why do you need to ask me? They're really asking is, no, I looked up how to get better at Smash, and I was told how to get better at Smash in a million different ways.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So much, like, knowledge. You just gotta look at them, and like Netflix or all these things that have too many shows, you'll be scrolling through Netflix. There's a million shows, but you can't find anything because there's too much.
See, one
Yeah, I
thing.
love that.
See,
Because like
wait.
nowadays it. Sorry, you want to go ahead?
I actually had something really important. See, one
Yeah.
thing about us as streamers is that, especially in competitive scene, they look for us for direction. And that's one thing
Yeah.
that you have to figure
Yeah.
out. We don't necessarily have the resources to give to other people, but we give them the ability to find their way to easier kind of improvement. So for me personally, I've always put myself as one of those people that I want to get better at the game. And I realize that I have a knack for teaching people how to be better at the game. So I'd be like, yeah, just do this. And I try not to overcomplicate it, because a lot of these people don't understand either terminology or what the fuck that means. Like, if I told, oh yeah, that's +3 on shield, you're good. And you're just like, what the fuck does that mean? You know, like I'm here, and Tofu too. Like, you've put such a good impact into the community too. Same with Cypher, of really trying to give people that. And I feel like that's something that a lot of us, especially with Rudy eventually, like, you're going to be great with that one day. But giving people the motivation to get better alongside giving them direction. So,
Man, Cypher, look, this is a perfect example. So you remember when we used to play, and I used to come into your stream, you know what I'm saying? And I would always ask you these questions, and you always give me these pointers, like, bro, I really like how you're doing with Falcon. Like, keep working on this, and this, and this. You know what I'm saying? So, cause I was a freaking lab rat with Falcon. You know what I'm saying? Like, I put in a lot of time with Falcon, and there was just so much information out there. I really didn't know what to focus on first. But then when you saw how I played, and you were able to just say, hey, this is what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's definitely just a matter of pointing them to the right direction, and just like Tofu said, there's so many. All right, there's so many things online, right? But it's there's actually an oversaturation of content out there.
Yeah.
So it's like it's twofold, right? When I mentioned that this is an era of an overabundance of resources out there, but oversaturation is a big problem too, and you sort of get overwhelmed and you don't know which funnel to go to, which road to take. And having that middleman is actually super important. And like Rudy mentioned, just like giving pointers and just like mentioning which route to take, and Lyric even said like streamers are really important in this regard, because you have that human connection. Like, you can actually ask very specific questions. When you watch a YouTube video, you can't ask questions because they won't get back to you because it's a static video. I mean, of course you can type in a comment, but there's one thing that, there's that, but then it's a completely different thing when you're engaging directly with the content creator, right? And it's real time. The real timeness to it is really important, because it's the closest thing you're going to get to, playing somebody in a bracket and asking them after playing them, right? That's like the closest thing you can get to it today. I think,
especially if you find a streamer who, a lot of streamers, myself, Afro, Conkydorf, all these people run their own online tournament, and you can see how that streamer you watch plays in a tournament, how they play differently from friendlies, what they do to adapt to certain play styles, and then you can just straight up ask them, hey, what did you do right here that I can't do against that player? We play the same character or something like that. And you have that, like you said, real-time interaction where you can just instantly get this recipient of answers. Oh, you want to use charge out back air here, for example, instead of fishing for grabs or something like that. You can just instantly have that, oh, okay, I'll go do that. And then they can go lab it instantly. And like Cypher was saying, I never had that even back in 2012, 2013. There was a couple of YouTube videos and stuff, but there was no one sitting in front of camera going, yeah, dude, I got you. Let's play some Smash. I'll help you out.
That's always, I don't know why, man. That's something that I've wanted to be ever since I started doing this. And seeing the growth now is nuts. Like, man. Every single time I think, I'm just like, I'm a dude in front of a camera that's got like a number of people watching me play and get advice or just have fun. Yeah,
and I think that's actually a big thing too, to kind of wane it a little bit, is we aren't top players. That's something I think people also need to remember.
Mhm.
We aren't PGR level. Like we're good enough players. We put in our work. We do decent at locals, but we're not going to know as much as ESAM. We're not going to know as much as Tweak, who sits here all day, every day in lab, and that their whole everything is Smash Brothers. For me personally, that gets overwhelming if I try to do that.
Exactly.
Like, I can put a lot of time into the game, but if I'm doing it 8 hours a day, I wouldn't be playing the game anymore if I did that. But some people, like those people, can do that, and they have this insane amount of knowledge for the game. And I think ESAM's a good example of someone. I bet you could walk up to that dude, ask him almost anything about most characters in any Smash game,
And he'd know.
Like, yeah, and he'd know. Yeah, exactly.
I was like, hey, what's the frame data for Pit Down Air? Oh, it's frame 10. What the fuck?
Yeah, like I don't know that.
Like,
I know frame data for Samus and a couple other characters. I'm gonna be honest.
if you ask, it's crazy though, because it's just a different life. People devote their entire lives to this game, and it's crazy because I kind of want to do the same, but just in a different sense where I want to focus on getting people together to be better. And so creating this community with Smash Bros, the name alone, it can't copyright me, Sakurai. I hope not. But just having that,
Yeah, Nintendo.
Sorry, but you ain't taking me down yet. But yeah, just
Cancel Nintendo.
yeah, we got to cancel Nintendo one day. But for right now, just having this sense of experience, community in general, is something that shouldn't go unnoticed. I'm really happy that we can do podcasts like these, especially just to have access to different kinds of things in our lives. Like, especially, I use this as more of an outlet. I've always used this as an outlet. Even back when I was working 60 hours a week, somehow I still found time to do this and still consistently put it into perspective. Like, even now, I'm putting in way more work into my streams and shit just so I can make sure that everybody's okay, make sure that people have a place, because I wish that I had this back when I was like their age. I was going through a lot of shit, but with my family and just personal life, but I didn't have a lot of friends. Now look at me, I'm a jerk, everybody loves me kind of deal. So it's just more of like going from like a nobody to kind of having more notoriety.
Yeah, dude, I called some kid in my chat an asshole, and he loves me now. I don't know what's going on.
It's funny, man, because like me and Alaric, bro, like we there are times where we get heated at each other. You know what I'm saying? Like there are times where it's just like we had this one conversation, bro, and we got really heated.
Man, that was like it was like a 2-hour conversation. My phone fucking died.
We haven't talked in a couple of days, but this fool just picks up. He just calls me. He's like, "Hey, bro, where you at?" Oh, bro, I'm in Nukes right now, bro. And he's like, "All right, bet. I'm gonna come through and get a piece." And he gave me a ride home, bro. We were just like, bro. I'm like, bro, my bad, bro. And he's like, bro, yeah, you right. That was my bad too.
See, that's such a good like example of being able to take kind of what we're talking about before we started about how the community used to be kind of a little bit shit talk driven, but you always knew even if you're heated at someone else, it's still all love. Nowadays, he's toxic on Twitter, they get canceled.
It's crazy.
Even if they're coming at one of their best friends in a loving way, no one else knows that. Everyone on Twitter, air quote Twitter mob just goes, "Oh, you're being a dick to this guy. Screw this guy."
See, that's why I made that analogy earlier about the Modern Warfare 2 lobbies.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I made the lobby, because the analogy is because when people reflect back on that time, all I see is a smile on their face. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, like, bro, I remember we just went at it with this one dude. Like, it was so freaking hilarious. Like, that's why, they're so popular. And it's just because not necessarily just what they said, it's just how they dealt with it, Like, oh, man, like, it's all good. Like, we just playing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
they're really doing it like that. Finger condom on.
Bro, I got cut, bro. I'm sorry.
I like it cut, G.
Fast food. I've had to wear those before.
Bro, I got cut because I was washing mac and cheese bowls.
What the fuck?
I don't get cut with knives no more. I don't get cut with. It's just the dumbest thing.
A mac and cheese bowl?
Yeah, I was like washing, and then all of a sudden, like it appears. I'm like, I wasn't even hurt. I was just like, bro, are you serious? This is like get caught with now?
Yeah.
That's tough.
I remember I went to a local in Biloxi, bro, and I fell. I fell. I just fell on the ground, bro. I couldn't feel my fucking right arm for like a day. I went to that local and almost got O2'd.
Bruh, I can't imagine a lyric just falling down. It's just he
Just walks into the venue. Hey, guy. Oh.
I can just picture his expression.
It's like, what? But it's the best thing though, man. Just those little quirky things, man, make my day. Cause even when I fell, I'm just like, huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, but that's it's just funny how we just deal with. I would say negativity. I like how we're dealing with it, like we're addressing it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's, it's for us to be able to understand the context of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's
You got to know where that line's at. Is it actually someone being mad at this person and going off and insulting them,
Mm-hmm.
or is it someone just shit talking and it's a video game?
Mm-hmm.
And they can sound very similar, but when you have that context of who they're saying it to, what specifically they're saying, it can all change completely how the emotions are for it.
Yeah, it's like when I play against a lyric, I just want to touch on this. Like, he would hear me talk shit. Talking bad shit. I would talk bad shit. Like, bad. But he knows I'm able to just look and just be like, all right,
Good game.
this and this and this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, so that's a perfect one right there.
Oh, yeah. I've definitely had my fair share of friendly sessions with Plaid, man, where he just looks at me and he's like, Tofu, you know I love you, but Samus is fucking stupid.
There's some
Yeah,
people.
I was playing. My bad.
I was gonna say.
No,
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's some days where I'm just chilling, I'm minding my own business. Then somebody asked me to play friendlies. They play me midway through the set, and it's just even. But they're playing so degen against me in friendlies. I look to them. I'm just like, yo. It's like, yeah, you're a bitch. We just keep playing. Just keep playing.
Yeah, that's how it is. That's kind of how me and Lightbrand are together sometimes. We'll be having a great time doing a Smash Dojo, and we'll be having a good time, and he'll go Snake for one game. The game will go to 30 seconds left on the clock, and I'll be like, dude, your Snake is stupid, and fuck you. Like, what is it? Why did you just camp me in friendlies for 7 minutes straight? He's like, well, I'm practicing. What?
I mean,
They got that
yo,
look.
Cypher, my man. What up,
My
big dog?
mans. Bro.
Wait, Cypher, you
know
muted?
that
Oh yeah, he's
Still
still
muted,
muted. Yeah. He's just
Mike muted.
Mike.
That's good.
What's up, Cypher? We're talking about toxic players, bro. You know who's really toxic that I knew they were toxic, but I'm going to say a name. Starts with a B. And he can't make it to me in bracket.
Is he a Bowser player?
No, he's a Kent player.
Oh, well.
Broken?
Yeah.
Dude, just say Broken.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. He doesn't even care.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Dude, I TO'd in a tournament.
Because he doesn't even care. Like, he knows.
Dude, I TO'd at a tournament with Broken in it, bro. And it was the most stressful experience I've ever had in any tournament, bro. It was literally 3 pages worth of just insults to this one dude that played banjo. And he beat him game 1. Broken literally just did not approach him. He was getting zoned out. And I literally watched this, man. I commentated this. I watched him hop back and forth on PS2 from one platform to another for 2 minutes, bro. Then he almost got timed out. Dude, then he jumped. And Banjo called out his jump with fair within the last 5 seconds of the game and killed him. It was 100% the funniest. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life playing this game.
How do you want to put a time in the Ken Banjo matchup? How does that happen?
I don't know, man. He's just like, I can't approach.
But damn.
He's just like, I can't approach. Like, Banjo wasn't even camping. He was just zoning him out. Like, if anything, he was camping him out. I was just like, wow. But it was just such a weird situation, man. Then it was just insult. Then he's just like, yo, I forget what he said. I can actually pull it up if I want. I'll pull it up off stream. But it's so funny, though, because he was just shit-talking the dude. Then he said something. He's just like, not the TO. I was like, oh, so you don't want to get in trouble. You don't want to insult me, I guess. but you want to insult this random dude that you don't know on the internet. That's crazy. And so I'm just like, it makes me realize that there's a line even for toxic players, and it's weird.
Yeah, I had a similar experience actually in one of my tournaments that I run. There was this guy who was playing Young Link.
I appreciate that.
Basically, everyone he was playing was just like pretty nice to him overall, but a couple of the people who were playing were just like, dude, that was annoying. Like the Young Link would not go in; he was just spamming projectiles, and people were like, "Hey man, you play kind of annoying," and he would get like mad toxic back to them. I beat him 2-1 in like winner's semis of the tournament or winner's quarters or something. And I'm like, GG's, dude, your Young Link's solid, but you should probably go in more, especially against Samus, where I can just charge shot through most of your stuff. And he gets pretty damn toxic towards me, like, bro, I know how to play my fucking character, shut up. You were
Clearly you don't, because you lost.
Yeah, exactly.
Samus. And I'm like, bro, you know I run this tournament, right? And he just went, my B, .. He didn't respond to like anyone else for the rest of the tournament.
Exactly.
But he talked to the run of the tournament like that, and then he was like, "Oh shit, I went too far."
You know, this reminds me a lot of the creative industry. So, I'm actually like a senior art director in my, in my personal life. And the thing is, like, a lot of, and I know Rudy is an illustrator too,
that's
an
what I'm
artist.
saying,
So it's like, we know, like, you know exactly where I'm gonna go with this.
Yes.
It's like, we have to be open to constructive criticism, and the first thing that you're taught in the creative field is to know how to take feedback, right? Sometimes you're gonna have somebody like taking your work, looking at it and saying like, "Yo, this is shit." Absolute shit.
No, you laughing, Alaric, but
no. That's how it is dude. That's how it is in the music industry too. That's what's so funny.
Music is like that because it's all opinionated. Music is an opinion.
Don't ever get the oxygen. That's how they.
Like, nah, straight up. If people don't like your music, they're not going to hire you. Period.
Yep.
Yeah,
but man, look, talk your shit, Cypher.
Yeah,
And it's like, it's just a matter of knowing how to take that feedback. Because like, I'm not saying, hey, this is shit, that's feedback. No, because there's usually a follow up to that. But if they say this is shit and that's it, then that's not feedback. That's just being an asshole. But usually people say, oh, this is shit, here's what you can do to take the right route to how to like fix it. And a lot of the times people, they don't know how to take feedback and they feel attacked and they feel like they have to go on defensive out of nowhere, as a person, and they get threatened by it. And that's my theory, and like why a lot of people, when they hear something like, even if it's something small where it's like, that was a good game, but I think you should do X, Y, and Z more, right? Oh, I think you should punish me hitting your shield more, without a shield options. And a lot, even if it's something small like that, you can hear them getting aggravated about it, and because they don't know how to take feedback. So it's an art of like knowing how to take constructive.
Exactly.
Bro, and I'm gonna be real on that with the art thing, man. I can't stress that enough. And I'm gonna be real. That is what separates the greats from the average player, is just how well they take the criticism, or even better yet, especially we're relating this to Smash, how do you take a loss? Is if you're to humble yourself and actually, all right, what can I do to get better? Because what's funny, I had a teacher that did me like that. He just said, "What's this?" And I'll be like, "All right, well, how do I fix it?" And he just kept doing that, and everybody else in the class, bro, would just be like, "Oh my God, he's so hard, he won't teach you." But me, like, I kept going back and forth with him, man, because I wanted to get better. I was serious about it. Eventually, we became good friends, and this dude, he really opened my eyes on a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, the most important thing is just, how are you able to take that loss? You know what I'm saying? Like, that is just, like, I'm so glad you brought that point up, Cypher, because you just hit a gem right there.
Yeah, and as harsh as it sounds, I think it's a good thing to be a dick sometimes.
Yes.
Because just the way our memory works as human beings is, something's going to be more ingrained in your memory if you have a strong emotional connection to it. That's just the psychological thing behind it, right? Like, for example, like if you get traumatized, if you get like jumped, for example, when you're like a teenager walking home from school, for example. This sounds very personal. That's never happened to me.
Oh, damn.
But like, for example, like that shit like that traumatizes you and you're not gonna forget about it, and then you start to like learn how to deal with it next time that happens, right? If you get bullied. That's
Yeah.
just like a really good example of that.
That happened to me, so I ain't gonna hold you.
Golly.
No, it happened to all of us.
It ain't
was
happened to
close
me
to
yet.
happening to me.
It
But,
almost happened to me, but
yeah.
dang.
I mean, hey, on average, ironically enough, with that, on average, 1 in 4 people will get jumped in their life.
That's
So
crazy.
it's kind of ironic. Look at that. There he is.
That's crazy.
And no one forgot about it. No one.
Yeah,
no one
you
forgot
ain't
about
gonna
it.
forget
And-
that you get
Yeah, you
jumped.
didn't forget.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't forget it, bro.
Oh
I
my.
live by it.
Oh
I
my
live by it.
god.
And I'm sure if it didn't happen again, you remembered it. But if it does happen again, you got beat up just a little bit less because you knew how to deal with it.
Got beat up just a little bit less.
Adapting, knowing how to adapt. So it goes kind of hand in hand.
You gotta know your own frame data, bro.
Just the money, not the whole wallet.
You gotta know your frame data, bro. You gotta know your fastest
Yo,
out of
big
shield
brain.
option.
Just take my whole wallet.
Hey.
That's big brain.
I would have took out specifically my one card that I use, just giving them everything else. I'm just like, yeah, bro, here
No,
you go.
what you do is you give them the card you use because then you can track it.
Oh.
Or cancel it right away.
Give them the whole money.
Oh.
Just give them the whole wallet instead of money because then you can track your stuff.
Oh yeah, true. I just don't want, my stash of band-aids to be gone, Yeah, I got band. Hold on. Yeah, I carry.
You never know if you scrape a knee.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I gotta make sure I, plug up all these crevices in my skin from getting shanked multiple times, bro.
Well, I was gonna ask, do you like skateboard around a lot?
Nah, I used to though.
Because I know a lot of skateboarders that they'll keep bandages in their wallet because they'll be skating down the road, longboarding down the road, normal skating, they'll hit a rock, knee right into the ground, and it's just blood.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually funny. My ex used to like need a lot of band-aids and stuff, so I just started carrying them. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a bad thing to keep on you. A couple band-aids.
And it's helped out a lot more in my personal life than I thought it would. It's helped out way more. So like, I'll just have it, and people are just like, "You're so handy, Alaric." I'm just like, "Oh, cool. It's just a fucking band-aid." But yeah, but just
It's kind of like, go ahead.
yeah. What I was gonna say, just going that extra step goes a long way.
Definitely, and I think just like kind of really reiterating what Cypher was talking about, just having like just dealing with loss in general, because in a way, constructive criticism does play as a loss because you're losing something in order to gain something, right? So with that, it's like how players deal with losing, and I think it's just most of, like, if we're gonna be honest, like most of these players Smash is all they got. Smash is all they know.
Yeah, for a lot of people, especially a lot of the kids who play the game. They go to school, they come home, they play Smash. All their friends are Smash. They go to school, they maybe have 1 or 2 IRL friends, and a lot of them are friends with people at their school because they play Smash as well.
I met Soel because of Smash.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll admit, like, Cypher and Alaric were here at that point. Like, I held Smash very, very dear because it brought me out of a slump, and this was one of the main reasons why I kind of stepped into this scene, and I kind of, like, a lot of things wouldn't happen because of that. So I think, like, at one point I held Smash like real close. Like, that's where that period of just grinding with Falcon came out, and I realized, hey man, I wasn't approaching this the right way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't it was very unhealthy to deal with it, because there are times where, like, in Alaric knew, like, I would get frustrated, man. So I think it's just like, fortunately for me, I'm able to reflect back on myself and ask those questions, like, man, why am I acting like this? Why am I doing this? But let's think about the majority of other players, and especially the young ones who don't know, who don't understand.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important, like, especially on this topic, and while we're on this podcast today, is us giving them a sense of direction, and us, like, letting them know, hey man, we went through that too, but
For sure.
how to deal with that, or just giving you techniques and tips on just like what we did to get to, because honestly, if I had like a template, or like just how do I deal with the answers to the questions I had, it could have saved me a lot of time. So it's just important to just understand, like, yeah, they're people who are toxic and they're gonna stay toxic, and their character is just gonna stay where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
What about the players who are just like Cypher said, man, they're just passionate about the game. They just really love. I think it was either Tofu. I think Tofu said that, but they're just passionate
Me
about
and
the
Cypher both said something about that actually.
yeah. But they both show love of the game, so it's just I think it's important for us to give them that. Like, all right, here's what we did. This was our thought process at the time.
Yeah.
So really liked what Cypher, when we were talking about it last night, was playing to lose. So I thought it was interesting because remember when we did a topic on playing to win versus playing not to lose. You remember that?
I remember
Larry?
that. I remember that. Yeah.
It was very. I thought that mindset was very insightful, especially in your developmental stages in Smash. For us to just be like, all right, what can I learn from this experience?
Yeah,
When
I think even more than that too is learning to lose is really important, but enjoying to lose, enjoying losing the game is, I think, just as important. What really shows someone, wow, I actually just love this game for this game. I'm still getting my ass beat, which I think is the most important way to get better, is to make sure you're actually doing the steps of practicing, and then find someone who just clean one stocks you, someone you can kind of keep up with, you know what you're doing, but someone who just beats the crap out of you in the video game. Find someone who does that, learn from them, learn from your mistakes towards them, and I think that makes people rapidly better at a way faster pace than someone who's just going to play random people online. And once you learn to enjoy losing, you'll learn to win. Then that's just how it goes. You can't learn to win without losing a bunch. It doesn't matter what game you're playing competitively.
I've taken
and to make that statement translatable to some people, because I'm sure some viewers would listen to that and hear you say like, loving to lose, what do you mean? That's just stupid. But just like to translate it to some people, like I know exactly what that means, and I'm sure a lot of us know exactly what that means, and even some of the viewers know exactly what that means. But there are some people that don't know what that means, and just to make it a little bit more in layman's terms, like not just like loving to lose, but loving to learn from your losses, because that's essentially how and where you grow the most. Because like when you lose, you're gonna learn way more than you were to if you were to win. Because if you win, like, what are you gonna learn? Like, all you're gonna learn is, oh yeah, I outplayed him. GG's.
Cool.
I didn't really learn shit, but I get that adrenaline rush, and I get that, the serotonin that I won. Great. That's the end all. That's the end goal, and that's the best thing I can get off of it. No, wrong. If you lose, the best thing you can get off of it is to grow as a player and learn from that, and that's what you should love and strive for.
Man, hell yeah. And that mindset right there is that, like I said, bro, that was very insightful, man. That kind of just I would say elevated my perspective on, man, just like learn to lose. And it's funny you say that, Cypher, because I kind of did that unconsciously. Because I know, like, when me and Alaric would play sets, bro, we would just sit there and just talk about it. Yeah. Like, man, I really like he did this and this. Like, perfect example, we were playing the other day, bro. It was like, I really just sat back as I was touching the controller and shit. Like, yo, we like, out of the friend group, we're like the masters at neutral, because we sit there and try to analyze each other in neutral, straight up just adapting to each other, like each stock, each percent. Like, we're just adapting. And like, it was just, it was crazy, but it was just for me to be able to just humble myself and just say, hey, man, like, I really like how you did this and this, and I really like how you called me out. Just little stuff like that. Me taking the criticism and the feedback that Alaric was giving me there, I think that's very important. That's what makes us, like, good players. And that transitions smoothly to, dealing with, you playing against MK Leo. See, a lot of people tend to forget how many games MK Leo play and how long he's been playing Smash for.
Jesus,
you and Cypher, man, you guys played Smash for a long time, and you guys had to put in the time like everybody else. It's because each game is different. There are some fundamental things, but each game is different, and Sakurai even said it himself. He designed his game for everybody to come into and enjoy it. So, and MKLeo put just as much as time as all of us did in Ultimate, because he started when Ultimate started. You know what I'm
That
saying?
man started way before Ultimate, bro. That man started when he was
But I'm
8.
just talking about like the game in general. Just
Yeah,
Oh,
like
Leo got I think he got second behind. And again, you have to remember that Leo grew up in a household full of Smash players,
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
with cousins who play Smash Brothers, with friends who
Mhm.
play. That's how he grew up from 3 years old. His brother, I think it's his brother or cousin Serge who plays.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which one exactly, but I know he's related to him.
I think it's his cousin. I think it's his
He's been
cousin.
playing for longer than MK Leo has. So he had someone who was top 3 in Mexico since Leo was 6 years old, who was able to play with every single day and get good off of him.
Mhm.
And like I said, that really helps. You have someone who's just able to beat the crap out of you, honestly.
Constantly.
Like, it might sound blunt, but if you get your shit kicked in, you get back up better every time, like a fucking Saiyan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh God, and that kind of talks about like what the things that we don't know about MKLeo on that realm is maybe he had training on his mindset. Maybe
Yeah,
he
yeah.
observed that through his cousins who've been playing this game for years, who've been in the game for a long time. Just like you guys had to develop that mindset, like when man, there was probably a crucial point where MKLeo like everything just clicked, and it's like, bro,
Oh.
Oh yeah, for me, I used to be way different with my mindset. I used to get angry at losses really easily. I used to, I guess it's different than Johnning, but it's just blaming outside sources and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally realized, okay, I need to stop sitting down and going, why can I beat Pow with my Sheik, but I can't beat the 6th or 7th best with anybody I touch? They kick my ass. And it's like, it's not me being as good as Pow. I realized that at a certain point. It's me finding this one character that does really good against specifically his Pac-Man
Mm-hmm.
and abusing that. And then once people stop asking the question, why can I beat this good player but not this player that's around my level, and ask the question, how do I get better in general?
Mm-hmm.
Then you'll realize, then you'll just start beating both players at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely.
You can't compare yourself to other. Everyone plays different.
Exactly.
So even if you're top your PR, someone who's not even PR can come through and beat you because their playstyle contradicts yours really well.
Mm-hmm. And that's something really important with a lot of people. That's why it's so hard to pinpoint a definite best in the sense of competitive Smash, or even like separate people of like different skill levels, because there's so much. There's no finite way of determining skill level in this game, and that's something that really makes the game complicated. Either deludes certain things, so you don't really understand where you stand with a lot of places, and there could just be a lot of misinformation within the scene. But it just all really boils down, in my opinion, to finding ways of just improving consistently. I feel like if you just have a way of consistently improving, say like you get milli-whopped by like some dude, then you just start like getting really close to beating him. Then like maybe like a month later, wow, I'm beating him now. That's improvement. And so if
Like a big thing I think about with that is a lot of people will make their goal to be, oh, I want to be better than this person on PR. I want to be better than them. But what you can make your goal to beat them. Make a goal to beat them. Go for it. But you should never lose hope when you lose to them, because they already are better than you at the start of this goal. But instead of making your goal to beat them or be better than them, make your goal to be better than yourself yesterday.
Yep.
Make your goal to be, I learned something new today. I'm better than I was last time I went to a tournament. If that changes something, cool. If you get the same placement, you still know you're better than you were. Because all these other players are playing the game insane amount. You don't know how much these people are playing.
Exactly.
You don't know how much. MK Leo probably plays this game 15 hours a day sometimes. Like he wakes up, plays for 6 hours, streams for 6 hours, and then goes to bed.
Yeah. You know, yeah, definitely. Cypher, you got any input on this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like totally agreeing with everything you guys are saying. I mean, just to dissect what Tofu said even further, like, yeah, I'm 100% on board with that. Like, make yourself better than you were yesterday, but also like make yourself aware. Awareness is the most important thing in my opinion. But like, make yourself aware why you're losing. Right? It's like you have to dissect why you're losing. Opening up your eyes, being aware of, oh, I'm getting slapped around, but why? In what specific scenarios? Oh, I'm just now realizing, I just saw my VODs and I'm actually breaking things down, and I'm realizing that I'm losing half of my neutral interactions because of X, Y, and Z. I'm losing, because I I get called out on my jumps, so I have to stop hopping, you know, and just like being aware of why I'm losing. And then
Mhm.
now the next time I play them, I'm gonna stop spamming jump because now I won't get called out on my jumps anymore. And because of that, now I'm not gonna be losing half of my neutral interactions now. So it's about like being like more aware and MKLeo was an example just earlier, and he had exposure to getting his ass handed to him since he was a kid.
Yeah.
So it's like he had those situations multiple times, and even if he wasn't aware after game two, he had years of that growing up, and eventually that had to kick in his brain where it's like, I got to start doing something different. There's only so many times you can walk into a glass door, right, and then realize it's a glass door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm eating some cookies.
I saw
Cookies.
you go for one, and my first brain thought was just like, my man pulling a cigar, and then he bites into it.
Bro, imagine a Larry smoking a fat cigar on stream, bro. You know how
Shit.
lit that would be?
That would be dope, man. One day.
That's fine.
I have the ability to. I just don't have the money to.
You're a grown ass man.
I am.
Thank you.
I am.
Larry, so you can...
That would be dope. Just explore all my vices with stream.
Cuban link.
I'm
Cuban.
gonna switch mains to Cuban Link. I'm a very what the fuck? Urinated rubber boy. What the fuck is this? He says, I am a very beautiful Brazilian man. I sell handmade custom puppets. They can be of any person. You, Frank Sinatra, Eminem. So if you want a goddamn puppet, just DM me for prices. What the fuck?
Bro, that's
That's in your chat?
Yeah, that's in my chat.
Somebody...
That's the most crazy but badass self-advertisement. What the hell?
I mean,
That was the most random thing I've ever read in the chat.
I'm gonna ban them, but
Whoa, I want to DM the prices.
hey,
Bro,
I mean, you can
advertising
urinated rubber boy. Go shout out,
joking.
shout
Maybe
out.
that
What the
makes you-
fuck?
Maybe you should sell puppets on the web. Maybe don't make yourself name
I'm-
urinated rubber boy.
Maybe don't advertise yourself in these streets. That was super weird. I was like, what the? I didn't think that I was actually reading what I thought I was reading.
Yeah, that sounded like a fever dream of a message.
Every time I read chat, people think that I'm saying it, and it's so weird. I'm just like, you should know by now. If I turn my head like this and look, I'm just like. But I got a good one though. So dealing with losses, I want to go back to this, but think about this: people's mentality with Smash. Not only that, but what they do for Smash, like the time that they take away from Smash. We touched on that. We touched on different kinds of subjects, just like people use this as their outlet. But during this pandemic, like, how has your life changed? How has your life changed? And it can relate to Smash, it can relate to outside of it. But for me personally, like, I changed jobs, I changed careers completely, and it stopped me from going to college. And then I just started doing this, and now I do this full time. So yeah, what was it like for you guys?
I'll let my boys go first.
Damn, we got deep. Hold up.
Honestly, for me, it's like pretty similar, I guess, to an extent. I've always just kind of been someone that is very just at home most of the time and focuses on online more than anything. But it's so weird not having locals. If we're talking about Smash and what changed there,
Mm-hmm.
obviously it changed for so many Smash players, but locals are it's something else. Like compared to, I guess, Xanadu or these locals that get 300 to 400 people, regional size, almost major size locals that happen.
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of like this feeling of friendship, and you have people that you hang out with there. But when you go to a local that's just 40 people, 50 people, and you know everybody in there and everyone's your homie,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like you walk into that venue and damn, you're home for 6 hours, you're home for 7 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And not having that every 2 weeks, and like you said, we got a little deep here, not having that every 2 weeks for a lot of players, myself included, really just shows you how much Smash can like be a part of your life. Or any fighting game, people play Tekken and it's this big part of their life and stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely feel.
Definitely locals are a big thing that changed for me and everybody, I think.
Mm-hmm. I definitely feel like I've lost a part of like my life, but in a way, I got it back with streaming, and I found my own community and brought so many people together, and that's that's kind of what makes me feel a lot better, knowing that
Same, for sure.
knowing that I did something for the scene that will hopefully grow in the future and just develop into something where so many more people can come into. Like that makes me feel happy that I've like given back to that and done my part. What about you guys?
I think the big grace of online Smash is it brings whoever wants to play this game out. It brings anyone who just has the capability of a Switch and a Wi-Fi connection, as opposed to a car, gas. Some people live a couple hours away from their most recent local. There's so many states where there's not a local for 3 or 4 hours away from you, even though it's in the same state.
Mm-hmm.
That's my last cookie.
For me,
For
me, it was I would say like a blessing and a curse. The whole lockdown experience. I've been meaning to start streaming I've been putting it off for a couple of years actually. And it's hard to admit, but like procrastination is a bitch, and it's like my number one enemy. As a creative,
I can relate.
yeah. So Rudy's totally agreeing. Like as a creative, like it's just something that haunts you. Because we have like so many work in progress files on our computer. It's just whip.
So many just half done video folders, same.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So you guys get it. So it was a blessing in the sense that it sort of forced me to finally start streaming because I was stuck home, and finally like invest time and money into it. And it was a curse in the sense that obviously it's no joke that this virus is even a thing and so many countless lives have been lost.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge deal. But also, my personal, like, it has affected my personal life a lot because like in locals, as Tofu mentioned, I used to love that. I used to love walking into the venue and just seeing your friends and, you know, quote, as he said, like you're home for 6 to 7 hours and it just feels great. You're in the venue until like 1 a.m. And it's just great. And it's funny because like when you mentioned that, just yesterday or a couple days ago, I was rewatching a VOD. Somebody, a friend of mine tweeted me, my boy Apollo Ali, shout outs to from RBD Rad Brown Dad's crew.
Yeah.
He is a DDD main from
That's true, I gotta say.
He doesn't play Ultimate. He plays Project M.
Oh, nice.
And he showed me a clip from back when I was in my Project M days when I was PR'd, and I'm looking at these VODs, and I look so fucking happy. Like you see the most genuine smile on my face, and when I re-saw that, when I rewatched that, I was like, man, when was the last time I was this happy? And it was back when tournaments were open. This local that I used to go to every single week, bi-weekly, just before the pandemic. I've been going to it for years. The venue itself is at a bar. How dope is that? It has a pool table. It has karaoke.
That's dope.
It has so many games. It's at a bar. I go there. I get free drinks from people that I play with. And they're like, "Oh, yo, good game. Let me buy you a drink." And I'm like, "All right, bet." And it's like, that's life, bro. That's amazing. And like, I don't have that experience anymore. So it kind of hurts. And as an ambivert that skews mostly as an extrovert,
same.
It hurts, right? To just be stuck and losing that, you know.
And I think that's really is a big thing with any competitive game, but mostly fighting games, because it's this one-on-one experience. You play League of Legends and it's 6v6. You don't really get to know every one of your opponents. But if you go to a local every 2 weeks and you're fighting the same Bowser, the same dude, every time it's a one-on-one fight and experience with each other. There's and to kind of go off what you were saying with like watching VODs and seeing yourself. There's an old VOD that I was playing against Marathon. He's a Robin player. And you see in the cams, we were playing on Lilat, and I get hit with a Robin back air at like 95 on ledge. And as Samus, I just barely live. But if you look on the cams, I stand up and I'm like, and he smacks me and he's like, you're not dead. You're not dead. And if he wouldn't have done that, he would have won. And so I get back to the stage and I get a charge shot and he stands up and he hugs me. And I'm like, first of all, I'm friends with him. Like, we're good friends. But it was just like, bro, you had the game easy. And we just stand up afterwards and it's 100% just pure fun and joy. And watching that, just where we both pop off for basically him giving me the game, it's weird to think about, of just like this IRL connection of just like, wow, that was just a good set. We both knew we were in the zone. We were having a good time. We were playing really well. When you're playing an online set, you get chat. You get a GG in the Smash chat, and you don't really feel that, So that IRL like is really important. And hopefully, if America actually can act right about all this, we'll have locals soon, and that'd be really nice.
I hope so, man. I miss it.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood, Tofu. Oh,
Wood.
That sounds so weird.
knock on wood, bro.
Hit him with the wood. What?
Hey yo.
Hey yo. So.
Yo, Larry, you good, bro?
Huh? No, I'm looking at my wood, bro. Sorry. Not that kind of wood.
Sound like your wooden.
I was about to say we gotta stop straight now.
Hey. Yeah.
Cancel pit.
But no, I was looking at my phone. I'm trying to make sure we're still on schedule.
Yeah. I would say for me, just dealing with this pandemic thing, in a way, it was a blessing and a curse. It's kind of the same thing, and it ended up being a curse for a minute. Alaric knows what happened there.
Yeah.
And really terrible, but I found myself, just like I said, fortunately for me, I've always been a reflective kind of dude. So I was always analytical about myself and just my behavior and things. And just like Cypher, man, procrastination's a bitch, and it will always be haunting you. It's even scarier than a ghost, in my opinion, because you're always thinking about it. But just a lot of positive stuff came out. Like specifically excelling my art career is when I went through that dark period during the pandemic. People came for commission, and they just I just started putting my work. I really started focusing. I had time to really just kind of see what I needed to do, and I was like, all right, let me just hone in on that. So a lot of good came out of that.
Heck yeah.
I think this particular I guess just this scenario is what really brings out the beast in us. It really brings out the best in us for some of us. That in a crucial time and see how we handle these crucial situations.
Oh yeah, and I think especially in like a specifically Smash or competitive sense, if you're a competitive player. And a lot of the people that I'm sure we know or friends with are all in the Smash community for the most part, at least TOs, commentators, players. They all have this passion for tournaments no matter what. Having this, like you said, it releases the air quote beast inside you. It gets you raged. It gets you ready and pumped for the next thing. You've had now 9 months to get better, but you don't have that specific thing to prove I actually have gotten better. So you have that just sitting inside of you. Hey, you'll have your chance. And that's a lot of players. And it's going to be crazy when locals come back. I think
I'm so excited.
The skill levels, I think we're gonna have a period where it's like how everyone talks about Japan. You go to a Japan tournament, even the 2-0ers are good, even the 2-2ers are good. I think that's what's gonna happen at the end of the pandemic. All these players are gonna come to tournaments and everyone's gonna be a challenge.
Oh yeah,
no one's gonna be an easy win.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy because this is I guess in a way this is everybody's hyperbolic time chamber art.
Dude, I know it was mine. Golly,
it's gonna be a renaissance of Smash. It's gonna be a renaissance.
I went from top 50 in my state to now top 15 to top 10, somewhere between there. So the level of improvement,
here's the crazy thing, man. A lot of states that did not have a lot of locals, man. Imagine what this would push.
Oh my God, that's gonna be crazy.
You'd be surprised.
I've probably met at least a dozen people now who will find me through something and be like, "Hey, dude, I'm Idaho local," and I'm like, "What? I've never seen you at a local." And they're like, "No, I started playing in April. I've been getting competitive since April, since the pandemic. I've never been to a local." And I'm like, "But you're Idaho? You're an Idaho me?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to tournaments after this." I've maybe met 10 to a dozen people like that now. I'm sure there's more out there for especially bigger states. Our locals aren't even that huge.
Just imagine just how me and Alaric, how we all did this. Just imagine how many other people are thinking the same thing. Like, bro, we can do this, and this in the Smash scene. Like, yo, we can actually, yo, I know a comic shop that does this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's gonna be a flourish when this comes back.
I'm so excited for tournaments to come back because we had the Smash World Tour 2 thing. Like as soon as the pandemic's
Free
over.
melee though. Free melee though.
Free melee immediately.
Do it right now. Get them out.
Do it right
Get
now.
Melee out.
Nintendo. Do it.
Those bars.
They're gonna delete my VOD. Hey, where'd the Smash Bros VOD go? Oh, Nintendo's ordered a cease and desist. But I just said their name. Yeah, but you said free melee.
We ain't
Huh?
even, no, we ain't even playing melee. We pull up some melee, maybe we'll have a problem.
Pull out Slippy. Shit. It's a slippery slope. Let's see.
So,
So what we got next? What's our next subject? We got like 2 more, I think. What we got?
let me see.
Because we literally almost covered everything. That's what's crazy.
I know the character analysis, but I'm gonna save that for the last.
Bet. So
Man, I honestly think we really did it. We did everything.
yeah, we killed it today.
The character analysis.
All right.
Yeah, everything. Oh, I guess I can say one thing about the longevity in the scene. That's actually
Do
I had
it.
a thing I was going to talk about.
Do it.
How do you guys? I guess it's kind of a question branched off of that. How do you guys think tournaments will go overall next when they come back? Obviously, locals will come back, but do you think there's still going to be this massive community and just plethora of people that still only play online? There's still going to be tournaments for online, big tournaments even. Because before the pandemic started, we had 20, 30 man online locals that ran through Smash Ladders or Smash GG or whatever. Now we have super majors, 5 to 2,000 people playing in these tournaments that are online. There's no way that's just gonna die when locals come back because, like,
No, not at all.
not everyone can make it. In fact, most players actually can't make it to most locals.
Yeah.
So I personally think there's going to be a solid blend of online tournaments, people still doing online locals while still having those at-home locals, which will inevitably just give players twice as much tournaments to go about.
And here's one thing that was not mentioned, and I'm gonna have to mention is Yuzu and Parsec. The reason why we go to that is because of the crappy online Nintendo has for the Switch. That is the only reason why we even went that far with Yuzu and Parsec. Had Smash had good connection, man, we would have still been, you know what I'm saying, dropping the $20 and the $5 for Smash.
Oh,
But now,
connection, we'd have big online tournaments before all this happened.
Oh hell
that's what
yeah.
I'm saying. Like, we would be on it. But because of that, like, all right, we're forced
Yeah.
to find just like they did with Slippy. The only reason why they even went in that area and even touched it is because there's no way to play it while we're in the lockdown. So I really think it's gonna be, you know, I honestly think when the tournaments come back, Yuzu and Parsec are gonna be definitely refined and even more like revamped.
Yeah, there's
Maybe of
twofold-
course. Oh, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I meant to say, like, there's two folds to this. Like, in order for any of the competitive scene to be recognized on a mass scale, it needs to be regulatable by Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
And
definitely.
Yuzu Parsec is not regulatable. Neither is Slippy because of all the crap we went through. And like, to your point, like, if we had, to Tofu's point, like, if we had good netcode from the get-go, everything probably would have been fine because, like, there wouldn't have been any of these controversies, and it would have been regulated by Nintendo. And they just want to feel like they have in control. And the moment large corporations feel like they don't have control, they do the wildest shit. And
Yeah.
and
Their first
I
instinct
definitely
is
do.
just get it out of here. I don't want this on the market. I don't want a face on this.
Exactly.
Instead of saying, hey guys, maybe do this, but here's some rules, and if you break these rules, you're screwed. But what Nintendo does, and that's something big that actually Sony does with a lot of their tournaments and big things, is they'll be like, okay, you guys got the green light. We're not going to give you a ton of money, but if you look good and you make us look good, maybe we'll help you next time. And that's how the Capcom Cup started. Capcom started slowly giving Street Fighter tournament money. Everyone kept it good. The tournaments were great. And then boom, $300,000 tournament. Capcom pays for it all. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And they can. And Nintendo could do the exact same thing. $300,000 is they make that in the sales of Smash every day. Like people are still buying this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, Smash has a slightly different story than that. And it didn't go that way for us. But also like, I agree with like the future of Smash. You know, once the competitive offline is back, it's definitely going to be a blend of both. But also, just to take it a step further, online is going to be taken a bit more serious now, because before the lockdown, online wasn't taken serious. Period. Now we have a world Wi-Fi rank PGR, right? And people are actually taking that somewhat seriously. And if not, they're taking it, they're looking at it as almost like a separate division, and that's the way I'm predicting it. It's gonna be taken seriously to an extent, but it's gonna be a division on its own. So, for example, you can be the number one player on Wi-Fi rank, but you can be like number 50 offline. So it's like
I think that's exactly what's
it's a
happening.
different division, but they're both going to be seen differently.
Yeah. So it's kind of like an elo system. Like with chess, specifically with chess. Sorry, you guys were just like, what the fuck? But basically with chess, in different websites, there's different kinds of ranges of skill level with different like numeric things. So you could be rated like 1200, then on one website be rated like 1800. So it's just depending on inflation, different things like that. But it's also
Yeah.
could be dependent on different kinds of formats too. So that's something that's really interesting. I don't want to get too far into that. I just thought that was interesting.
And
Yeah,
I personally,
and
would-
another thing to take into account, like the Smash meta, online versus offline, is pretty different. The tier list itself is really different, because there's lots of characters that get nerfed and buffed due to online. And just to like be straight and blunt, everybody gets nerfed online, but to different levels, right?
Yeah.
Like for example, like some people would say, "Oh, Samus gets buffed online." No, it feels like that because you feel like you can't have any options. But no, everybody gets nerfed online, just different levels, and you have to figure out
Yep.
how to play differently based on that.
Like
You
Falcon-
can't be playing like you're playing online offline, because it's a different game that in that regard.
And not only that, that's also very, in a way, that can actually help you in neutral. Just having a different play style, because you can also adapt into a situation offline. Like, wait a minute, I've dealt with a situation like this before online. So what if I approach it like this? What if I kind of just play patiently instead of playing aggressive like I usually play? Or
Yeah, nowadays that's the meta for Ultimate. That's definitely where it's headed. Playing very
That's where-
passive.
Yeah.
Every Smash game other than Melee eventually heads. That's just how it's always gone. People will be like, "Oh, this game is Smash 4 is slightly faster than Brawl. It's going to be aggressive." Oh, the meta is waiting for Limit with Cloud, camping for Banana with Diddy, and Zero to Deathing with Bayo, which
Yeah.
is all very defensive.
Yeah.
And like, I think it will be more aggressive, but it'll definitely go there.
yeah, but I think it'll be like the roles will be reversed too. Like if someone's playing it passive, and then like, wait a minute, I could just be more aggressive on this side, So I think it'll be, in a way, it kind of helps too. Because I was gonna even say like Falcon gets neutered online, bro. You cannot do the stuff that you want to do offline. Like you
He
cannot do.
loses a lot, but then he gains some really dumb things.
Yeah, he's very glass cannon online, but also like you do have to play almost frame perfect with Falcon online, and that goes for a lot of characters. That's why you don't see MKLeo going Joker online, because you have to be very tight on your frames online.
Hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta use the restroom.
Bit. But yeah,
That is.
that's really true though. Same with Pit too. Like there's a lot of drag down stuff. I have to be adjusted to different kinds of input delay, specifically like depending on who I play against, and that's one of the hardest things. Just adjusting to delay, or adjusting to like small little blips in Wi-Fi that you have to notice right on the spot can really affect your gameplay.
Yeah, you have to adjust on the spot. It's almost like a stage hazard almost. when the
Exactly.
line spikes come in. And yo, shout outs, like while we're on this topic, yo, shout outs to Chunky Kong saying that I'm carried by Inkling online.
Yo, did he
Inkling,
actually?
after taking a game off of him, he said that.
What the fuck?
And he was Donkey Kong too. And I'm like, no, Inkling is shit online because of the same reasons you guys are mentioning. You have to be frame perfect with Inkling. Same thing for Pit for certain moves. Same thing for Falcon, and it's like, yeah, thanks for saying I'm carried, Chunky Kong.
Shut up.
All right, I didn't fall in. We're good.
Chunky Kong is a weird guy. I will say that from talking to him. He is a very weird kid.
Hey, no disrespect to Chunky though, but that's why he got clapped when he played Fatality. You know what I'm saying? He thought he was gonna get a dub, but he got clapped. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny that we mentioned like the Wi-Fi thing because I'll never forget when. I'm not saying this as a Fatality stand, but this is just facts. When he played against Young Link on that first to 10 set, when it was the Wi-Fi just started, like when Wi-Fi started becoming prevalent, Homeboy asked him, "What did you think about the matchup?" He said, "You will change your mind when we play offline." Yuzu and Parsec, straight up, gave him the work. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna just leave it at that, bro. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Local shocker. Youngling beats at DK. What?
Nah.
Crazy.
Nah.
No
What?
way.
No fucking way.
For a giant hitbox monkey? What?
Nah. That's ridiculous.
Even then though, DK is a good character. Honestly, he's
Yeah, I
massive.
think DK is like solid mid tier.
Same.
But-
People don't want to have that conversation yet.
Other than PM, he's crazy in PM. He's like top 10 in that game.
People aren't ready for that
Ridiculous.
conversation that DK is actually like at least mid tier. They're just not ready.
Yeah.
But
They call DK a low tier.
yeah, they've always been saying DK's trash.
Bottom 10. I hear people calling him bottom 10, dude.
I get people calling him bottom 5. Back before Chunky Kong started getting results, yeah, people called him bottom 5, bro.
I've heard that too. It's pretty wild.
But I was just like, this character's not bad, especially like playing against DKs that adapted to me. It's way harder in that matchup. Like I feel like DK Pit's actually an even matchup. And when
You know
I tell
what the
people
thing
that-
is?
Probably even.
What'd you say, Cypher?
So you know what the thing is? A lot of people that make these tier lists, like they're all obviously, higher level players, and those tier lists are usually the ones that go out more and have the most exposure, right? So here's the thing: these tier lists, no matter who makes them, and no matter what tier list we're looking at, they're all wrong. Because, and I'm gonna tell you why. No matter, even if you have the most, air quotes, a perfect tier list, you're never gonna get an accurate tier list because there's so many factors involved. And in my opinion, the main factor, the number one factor, is the fact that there is a billion characters in the game. When you're playing rock paper scissors with more than rock paper scissors, when you're playing with rock paper scissors, pebble, metal,
Pistol.
cloud,
Gun, yeah.
water vapor,
Knife.
you're playing with
Fire.
knife. You're playing with so many elements here, and it makes all the matchups volatile, because
Hero
when
as
you're
a whole.
in a bracket, you're never gonna go 1-to-1 on anybody in a certain way. For example, like when you're in a bracket, you could run into a number of these characters, a plethora of matchups. One day you can go into a local where one day the stars align and you end up playing your best matchups. You're having a good day, you're having an on day, you're playing on fire, you play great, you end up getting top 8, you do really good, or maybe you get first even. But then what's stopping you from running into every single losing matchup, -2 matchup? That shit happens. Even if they're a mediocre player, and I think Tofu mentioned this, or was it Rudy? But even if you play like, even if you run into like a Pikachu as like the best Ganon in the world, you're gonna have a hard time. You mentioned that.
Yeah, it was
that's what I was
Tofu.
saying.
Tofu, right? Yeah.
like,
So it's the same
Top player, but I go even or lose all the time to just play around my skill level. And it's like
same logic here. Imagine
Physical
going
level,
round
skill.
after round to -2 matchups.
That shit.
There's
dude.
no way you're gonna win that tournament.
If I play
even
Greninja,
if you
bro.
are, you gotta play godlike.
way
So there's
hard.
so many variables involved.
Fuck.
So tier lists are bullshit due to that reason.
I actually got another thing with tier lists too. I've always told people in Pickwood about this too, but tier lists are fucking subjective because they're only dependent on skill level, in my opinion, or nuance between like your specific advantages. I feel like people need to focus more on matchups than tier lists.
Wait, let me just jump in really quickly. Sorry. Just while I have it, to piggyback to what you're saying right now, there's different perspectives on how they make the tier list. I've
Mhm.
seen a lot of people make tier lists based on how they are relative to the cast.
Mhm.
But then I've also seen people make tier lists based on purely game results.
Mhm.
And then I've also seen tier lists that are based on subjectively how the player is, period, full stop. So it really depends what the tier list is based on. If you have like an asterisk at the bottom of the tier list that says this tier list is based on how they are against to the relative cast, sure, then yes, you can have a perfect tier list. If it has an asterisk that says this tier list is based on purely tournament results, sure, you can have a perfect tier list.
Yeah.
But you can never have a perfect tier list that covers all these bases
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
simultaneously.
And one thing I will say is that it's just, in my opinion, you know how everybody here's played a MOBA at least once, right?
Yeah.
MOBA,
I play Smite here and there still.
Yeah, so Smite, League of Legends, fucking even what's it called? Even Valorant. But there's meta, right? There's different kinds of there's different levels too in different divisions. So you have gold 3, you have like plat, you have bronze, you have fucking iron now. But you have all these things, but you still have tier list for each specific rank. And so Smash doesn't really have that. And that's something that I've noticed that every single time posts a tier list on Twitter or anything like that. There's like my tier list. Everybody goes in there. This is trash. This isn't what I think. Why are they there? I'm just like, but you don't realize that as a lower player, these people struggle in these matchups. So it may not be a definite tier list for the higher rank, but it can be something that's for their specific skills, or they could be for their specific, I guess, range. Because other lower players are going to be like, yeah, this is cool. Yeah, I do lose to them, kind of deal. But that's a really good way to have a division between opinions on the scene. Like, instead of just saying, oh, this is bad because it's wrong, because it's not what I agree with. I mean, there are nuances, because a mid-level tier list is going to look completely different than a top player tier list. Or maybe not completely different, but different enough to where you start noticing recurring patterns and things that both players struggle against. And
Here's one thing that I'm. Oh, go ahead, Topher. Go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah, to what he was saying.
Okay. One thing is that this. Look at the tier list as a guide, but not final. Look at it as like a stepping stone to like, hey, all right, cool, like, all right, like, hey, maybe this is something I can keep in mind. Like, okay, like, so technically, I'm gonna struggle against Wolf. What can I do to play around that? What are some of the things that I can do in neutral to put me in a better situation? You start asking yourself and just be like, oh God, I'm supposed to lose to this. Because, all right, perfect example. Falcon, Game and Watch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a -2 against Game and Watch.
Ha!
Played against the Game and Watch player, clap them cheeks. Because I know neutral. I know neutral. I play around that. But I mean stuff like that. Like Wolf. Wolf is a good character against Falcon because he got a projectile. I put in, you know what I'm saying? Valerian see me put in work.
Yeah, I see you put in work, shorty.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like, and the same thing, and it's just perfect with art. So when there's a lot of rules, all right, a lot of artists have a lot of rules, right? The fundamentals, those stay absolute. How you approach the fundamentals, there's no set guide.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how it's just really what's your approach to it. Just use. I mean, I want to say like there's no absolute way to draw an eye, right? There's several different ways, but just use those art reference books as a guide to help you get there.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Yo, Rudy, I love that. Like, there's a million ways you can get from point A to B, like, to draw the eye, but there's so many different tools you can use to get there. You can use so many mediums, acrylic, watercolor, etc., stippling. But, like, same thing with Smash. There's so many tools, so many different ways to get to the W, right? If you want to win grand finals, there's a billion ways you can get there, but it's a matter of bobbing and weaving through the tree diagram of so many different outcomes that this can take, right? But you just need to find those and pull it apart.
Glad you said something about the flow charts, right? When a character plays flow chart is not the Bible. It's just a guide so you know what you can do. But some people are just, dude, you're not playing flow chart. You gotta play this. Why did they do? How come he didn't use the knee then? Right? Can't you see he's just trying to outplay this dude in neutral?
Dude, you don't know how much I hear that with the way I play Samus. I hear it so much. Why do you full charge shot all the time? Why do you rush in on these situations? Why do you do this? And it's like, did I win?
I mean, yeah, but you didn't win the way I wanted you to.
Exactly.
I have
They're
people.
Like, oh, you're not playing the Samus meta. You're not waiting for these openings. You're making your own. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, because
That's literally the point.
Yeah.
You're getting hit. You're getting hit.
It's almost as like everybody plays different.
Exactly.
Nah.
And that's
Shocker.
Personally, I learned. Yeah, it's crazy that humans are humans, huh?
So y'all built different.
You
There's a
guys.
saying that went around for a long time in Smash Brothers where you can tell somebody's personality by
How they
the way
play. Yes, that
Yeah.
is such a
Like-
big thing, bro.
Yeah.
That's like when
MKLeo's Joker plays completely different from somebody else's. Like Riddle's Belmont's plays completely different from Dom's, but you can tell just by the way they play, you know who it is because it's telling. Everyone plays different.
And that's what.
I think that's like the most beautiful thing about Smash, and I think Melee hits it a little harder because of how hard that game physically just is to play.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I don't even like watch Melee a shitload. Like I enjoy watching it more than I do Ultimate probably, but I don't really watch a ton of it. But you could show me a Marth, just have the stock icons, nothing else,
And you know who it
I'd be
was.
like, oh, that's QQU. Oh, that's Zane.
Oh, that's
Oh,
okay.
that's MK. Yeah.
Nuns Falcon, baby. Nuns Falcon.
Yeah.
That's
Look at
my
Nuns
favorite
Falcon.
Jesus
one.
Christ.
Nuns going for these mix-ups. Nuns doing a ton of wave lands on platforms. Nuns doing a ton of just technical shit. And then you look at this other Falcon, same skill level. Oh, this dude's reading tech chases. He's basically just infinite chain grabbing off of being smarter than his opponent. That's Wizrobe.
Wizrobe, yeah. That boy.
Mhm.
Just waiting, bro. I kind of picked up that a little bit too, like with my Falcon wrist. Like, I'll just wait, and I'll just like Falcon kick or do something like that, like now.
And that's
Yeah,
so.
it's really important character like Falcon, who basically has to create his own no projectiles, no huge range, doesn't have a sword disjoint. He basically has to be like, when are you at your shittiest advantage? When are you at the worst advantage? So I can abuse that, and then I'll get a grab, nair, upper knee, and you're dead.
And then they get salty. All Falcons do is his knee. Yeah, but the fact that he had to set up, he had to outplay you, and you get salty about it. Yeah, tough.
All they do is just knee. All you do is DIN. That's what you should say.
That's all you do is DIN.
And that's what's so beautiful about Smash, in my opinion. Smash is a language because I can interpret how I'm feeling. And when you're playing against somebody with the same skill, you can make you can make your opponent feel certain emotions based off your play. Once you're able to convey that deliberately every time, that's beautiful, man. I don't know what it is about that. But being able to do something really jank to somebody and then being like, what the like
there are sometimes in Larry's neutral where I know he's feeling himself. Like I know he's swagging out, and I'm like, oh yeah, bro.
Yeah, you're feeling
You're really in your zone, huh? Yeah. Fucking swagged out here. Oh my god, because it was funny like that the Twitter clip that you put out.
That shit was hot.
I know exactly who it was.
You knew exactly. That was
bro,
funny.
I called him out like, bro, listen. I know it was, bro. That's what made it that much funnier, bro. It's just like I know because ain't no fucking ever played does that. So yeah, that's one thing that's funny is that you can really feel somebody out in neutral. Like just like when we played that neutral, bro, like it's just crazy because we legit trying to adapt at each other. Definitely.
Hey, Rudy, you got some batteries?
What's great about platformers. Platform fighters are just there's combos, and obviously that's a big part of the game. If you're able to beat your opponent in neutral and do 60, and they're not doing combos, they're only doing 20 every time they win neutral, they obviously have to win it 3 times more than you. But that still comes back to how many times do I have to win neutral. In a traditional fighter, it's just about sometimes you're just getting one hit. Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball Fighters, you have all 3 characters left. You're going to TKO somebody. There's a character on that route. If you're at high level, top level, one of your characters is getting TKO'd on one of the sides at the start of the game. That's how it's going to go. So it's not as much neutral there, obviously. And that's what's great about Smash is it's player heavy as opposed to input heavy.
That's something I really like about this game. Like, it gives more time for you to actually play the game, if that makes sense. So one thing about traditional fighting games is I feel like there's a lack of, when you have situations like that, it's more of just like a scope of skill, less as a community kind of thing, because you don't really get the immersion of actually playing a game to the point where every time that you are going to get your opponent off stage is going to be when you're pushing advantage. In a fighting game, it's just like, oh, I just beat the shit out of my opponent. He's trash. Then you just move on.
Yeah, it takes away a lot of that. That's why, sometimes I feel some type of way when people say that Smash is not a fighting game. Well, if I got to do 15 different inputs just to do one string to kill somebody, then I'll consider that a fighting game.
Yeah.
Just like you got to time your inputs in MVC3 and TOD somebody. You can do that in Smash, but there's more to it. It's just little things like that. Like you just people that don't really understand, and that's okay because this is coming from a dude who loves, like, I'm a fighting game enthusiast, but just something that I noticed with Smash, I have a hard time learning the freaking down throw nair, down throw up air knee, stuff like that, than doing, jump cancels in fighters. Like it was a lot easier for me to pick it up and just actually play. But you know what I'm saying? Like there's stuff that's into it. I
want to touch on.
So I think. Go ahead.
Sorry, no. Finish your thing.
No, I was done.
Damn it! I was gonna say, how did you guys find your mains? I know I talked with Rudy about that, but I'm just curious. Yeah, Tofu's smiling. How did you find your main, Tofu?
So I've played Samus since the start of Smash 4. And it was really because at the time, like I said earlier, I realized, wow, I am garbage compared to these tournament players. I just went 1-2 with Marth and Fox a little bit, and I kind of got bodied. What can I do with a character that's just like, hey, let me get up there real quick? And I was playing Samus just in general against people and a little bit against my brother. And at the time, my brother was still playing Lucario from Brawl. And Lucario sucks in Smash 4 compared to Brawl. He's pretty good, but compared to Brawl, Lucario was like a good character in Brawl. And every time I would get to like 50%, 60%, and he would just be like, all right, well, I got to do something as Lucario. And the problem with that is Samus in early patches of Smash 4 could basically pseudo what you know earlier as just shine sparking someone. But the combo is just dash attack up air, up E, killed a lot of characters. Just killed from like 12%.
Ew.
And so I found that early, and then I think it was literally 1.3 or something, like not even 6 months after the game, they nerfed the up E. They nerfed it by making the last hit have set knockback, but overall less growth knockback. That in turn made it so on the 5 lightest characters in the game, you could dash attack them at 0, up B, and they died.
What the?
I don't know if you've ever seen that in Smash 4.
What the?
But basically, I started playing Samus because I was really good at neutral and really bad at physically playing the game. I could read my opponents well, but I couldn't pick up all these crazy combos. But at a certain point, I was realizing, I've played this game. I was like 3.5 years into Smash 4. And I started playing Sheik more. I started playing Mewtwo more, these technical characters. I got really good at Nair footstool down B with Mewtwo, if you've ever seen that combo in Smash 4. It's basically a broken combo. That game's broken. That game has problems. And eventually, though, I just stuck with Samus because it's always this comfort pick of like, I'm learning these characters, but I know Samus. And so I guess that's really how I found my main. It's kind of not really an amazing thing, but I do love the Metroid series. That's a big reason why I first picked her up. It's probably my favorite Nintendo series. And at this point, it's just, Ultimate Samus is way different. And to an extent, you have to really actually try for your kills. And she actually has a lot of trouble killing sometimes. it's just a character that I've just learned to be. It's kind of like a part of what I am as Smash. It'd be hard to not main Samus, you know.
Yeah, I feel that. What about
I'm
you?
sure you feel that a bit.
Yeah, I do actually. What about you, Cypher?
Yeah, so in Brawl, I mained Fox, and
Yeah,
you know
man,
he's
just kidding.
obviously an explosive character. And my secondary was like Diddy Kong too, so I was like really knowledgeable about like glide tossing and all that stuff, playing very intricate with that. And then so that was my playstyle for a long time, and then from there in Smash Four, I mained Sheik as well. Also very rush down in your face. And when I played Project M, I mean Diddy Kong. So all these characters, what the common thread that they have, you know, for Project M even like Diddy Kong is like very explosive in your face rush down, but also like plays with a lot of setups with the banana setups, and item play is very important. So when I transitioned into Ultimate, you know, the first character I tried was Fox, but then I didn't really gravitate towards him because he was very different compared to Brawl, but fundamentally he was kind of sort of where I wanted to go. And then I picked up Inkling. I tried Inkling out, you know, because obviously it's a new character, and I'm playing the game at Nintendo World, Nintendo NYC, Nintendo World, where they had it pre-release. It was like what's it called? Beta. They were beta testing it.
Yeah, they
And
had like the demo kiosks and stuff.
yeah,
and
the
then
kiosk. Yeah.
That's dope.
So I tried Inkling out, and I'm like, whoa, hold up. The frame data on this character is kind of ridiculous. And you know, I noticed they had you know, some nice neutral specials that had really pretty good specials for setups. So in that regard, played a little bit like Diddy, but it was also really explosive and played fast like Fox. So it was almost like the perfect balance of Diddy and Fox, in my opinion.
Hey.
So that's why I picked up Inkling, and then I was scrolling through the alts, and I saw the green Inkling, dark skin with the mask, the face mask. I'm like,
That's
bro,
dope.
inclusivity is pug. So I'm like, hell yeah. So that was my skin since forever.
hell yeah, dude.
How about you, Rudy? I know you're smacking over there.
You over here smacking instead
Over
of
here
telling us how you
smacking.
play.
Yeah, man. How'd you find Douglas? God
Douglas
dang, bro.
Douglas J. Falcon.
Ah,
Falcon
Douglas
is
Falcon.
life.
oh my God.
Let's find you.
Shrek is love.
Falcon is all right. So
It's his religion. That's all you gotta know.
yes, but in essence is I'm the type of person that always like to go for a challenge and actually I like to push myself in certain areas, like, you know. And my initial name was Lucina, 'cause, you know, like I went through a waifu phase.
I remember that.
So
I remember
I
that.
was like, bro, like, you know, I really don't play a lot of female characters. I was trying to be, you know, a
Listen.
little more liberating in a way.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
I always played like the badass characters. Like whatever character looked cool, that's the character I'd play. All right, so I was like, all right, let me just switch it up a little bit. So I played. So I was initially playing with Lucina. I really still like Lucina. She was a really good character. She's a good character.
She's really
But
good.
man, when I just picked up Falcon, bro, and like I'm already familiar with Falcon. I grew up with Falcon and Melee. That's where I remember him from. And then I know about the F-Zero series. Sorry about that. But man, Falcon just spoke to me, man. Like he's just like just the fact that at the time, Falcon was really not a good character. You know, he wasn't a good character earlier, and that just made me a challenge. Like, bro, I'm just gonna push myself to be good with him. And now look where we at now. Like, I just, you know, Falcon's just my religion, bro.
And I guess for me,
Yeah, if anybody played Smash 64, Falcon was like on crack in that game. That was my secondary.
what the
64
fuck?
fun.
I never played 64.
He
Oh,
can
it's
grab
so
you
good.
and you die.
Yeah, that's it. You're dead after that.
What
You
the?
do up air, up B, and you die.
Ugh.
One thing though that I like about this particular Falcon is that the fact that you gotta outplay your opponent. That's even more satisfying because the fact that you didn't win because of some jank, you won because you thought ahead of the opponent.
Yeah,
that
that's
You
what
knew
regard,
what he was gonna
Melee
do.
Falcon is so interesting to watch. Is Melee Falcon is in this world of a floaty that's just as fast as him as Peach. This world of these two characters that can grab him and kill him from zero and Ice Climbers. This world of Fox McFucking Cloud, this crazy, insane button-heavy character that even though you're fast on the ground and your frame rate is fast, everything about him is faster than you. So Falcon just in Melee and I think in Ultimate to an extent really has to play neutral just better than your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's definitely a very honest character in that regard. Because like, yeah, and then you have characters like Puff that you didn't even mention, like in Melee, where it's like they don't have to play the game. They literally don't have to play the game, and they still win.
Yeah.
So it's like Falcon has to overcome all these mountains, in real time,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
you
like
know, go ahead.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like in that regard, like that just nails down at the point where that's what that's what defines an honest character, where they have to solely rely on their
Just
neutral
playing.
and just playing the game, yeah, and outplaying the opponent.
Yeah, and that was like one of the first things I noticed when I picked up Falcon. Is like, bro, I really gotta put in time with him. I really gotta know this character in and out. Not only that, do I gotta know my character? I gotta know everybody else's character, and just me being able to just dive into that, and knowing the depth of knowledge, not only about my character but the others. That really kind of spoke to me in a way. And then it's just the fact that there's a huge reward for me actually understanding my character and understanding the character and understanding the player's play style. Like there's a huge reward for that, you know? So for me, like I'm always like, since I'm able to look back and just say, maybe if I approached it like this, and this, I probably would have been a lot better. And I actually benefit from that, just switching up and making little changes with Falcon. Like you can see that almost immediately, just adapting. It pays off like if you play well, and I like that.
Yeah.
Oh shit! It's
Yeah,
my
like
turn.
it doesn't matter how fast you are at the game, or it doesn't matter how many combos you can do at a certain point. And I think this is something that I've really learned playing. Like I'm sure you have playing Falcon and just playing Samus, especially online. You're not allowed to get in on people sometimes because online you can just nair out of shit. You can just hit an aggressive button. You can rapid jab out of stuff. So many people's jabs are like frame 3 in this game. So when you find this neutral against someone, I've played so many Ice Climbers that they could do whatever they wanted and touch me and die because they're so physically good at the game. But they, for some reason, get hit by every charge shot I'm shooting. And it's like, why aren't they using their shield? Why aren't they doing this? It's because all they've been doing to get good at the character is sit in the lab and do that zero death over and over again on a standing still, no DI, probably like Chrom or Falcon, so you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's something where neutral in this game is so heavy because even just that can sway an entire game against someone who's physically really good.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. Oh shit! Wait, Pit. Right. You guys ready to hear about how I picked up Pit?
Go for it.
Yeah,
Oh fuck.
please.
Oh fuck. Okay.
I thought you already did it. That's
No.
why I wait. That's why.
No, I haven't even said my shit yet.
Ooh.
No.
Sorry.
So the dude that basically played Smash with me all through high school, we were just playing. I was having a character crisis for a bit, and I actually played the game not really that seriously at the start of college. So that was like 2018 when it first came out. And so I played like Jigglypuff, I played Plant, I played a fuck ton of weird characters. I get over and then me and Soel are just playing characters. Soel's playing random at this point and just going through and just beating my ass. But I'm like, I need to figure out a character. He whips out Pit. Then he just starts saucing me. I'm like, hold on. I like how you beat me with that character. And so it just kind of elevated to that. After that, I'd been playing the character since like November and went to my first tournament, started developing skills and shit, just really, really getting a lot better. And I realized this character is the most fun character I've ever played in any Smash game. Like the freedom I could do with arrows and just play around whatever I wanted, like it was so rewarding to me. And that was back when Pit was shit. Like you think his down air was bad. You think it's bad now. That thing did not kill even at like 100 off stage. Like it was really, really bad. And so that after that got buffed, I was just like, yeah, cool. And I think there was like one other thing. Right when I started streaming too, probably a month in, Pit got buffed again. I'm just like, oh, it's over with. And so that's when I really, really got into it. And so yeah, that's where I be. But I got
My man said, I enjoy getting beat by Pit. I wonder how it feels to beat ass with Pit.
exactly. I'm just like, maybe other people will enjoy getting their ass beat by my Pit. And they do.
Yeah.
They do, which is weird.
Yeah.
But I got one more thing. What was the subject for character analysis?
Just because I know you guys mentioned that it was Samus week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it would be a perfect
yeah,
way to
To end the stream, yeah.
yeah. I think it would be a perfect I guess outro. Just to talk about especially because people. For me specifically, just how do you approach? All right, put it like this: when you were labbing Samus, what were some of the things that you were looking for? Like, how did you approach learning the character?
Honestly, it's weird because to answer those questions, I can't use Samus. I've just consistently played her, and eventually, and she's one of my favorite characters to watch as well. But I don't think I've ever sat in the white screen lab with her for more than 10 minutes. But I have put dozens of hours into labbing Pokemon Trainer, or dozens of hours into labbing even Daisy. I really like playing her. And just being able to know how to do her stuff is really fun. So with Samus, she's a character that is so, and I know this is such a cliched word, but she's so fundamental in the way she plays. She's not hard to physically play. She's hard to play against an opponent. If someone doesn't know how to fight Samus, it's easy money, I guess. But the people that understand how to fight against Samus make the world so much harder for Samus mains. Because once you understand how to fight her, she gets put out of her comfort zone. If you understand what you need to do to pressure her, I can be as aggressive as I want, but I can't box better than a Pikachu. I can't box better than a Fox. I can't even box better than Snake to an extent, and he's another zoner. So just understanding that and like how to make someone not be able to get in while still trying to use back air, use nair, use aggressive options is something that I personally have worked a lot on. But I don't think it's really just sitting in the lab. I think that's finding an opponent and then just analyzing what they're going to do to give you those openings over and over and over again.
Also, playing the Ditto definitely does help.
I think I wouldn't necessarily like when I talk about like just labbing, it's just like having that, just initially picking up the knowledge. Like, all right, what are some of the basics that I gotta look for when picking up a character? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't say just sitting there just lab combos and stuff like that. Nah, like I'm actually talking about like understanding the character. Like, but I think you hit it really well that Samus is a zoner that you gotta know what your opponent's doing to be able to get yourself in a good situation. And if you're playing against somebody that knows how to deal with that, now you gotta really play like neutral. Now you gotta really set yourself up for the next play. So that's really, I never really thought about that with Samus. I'm just thinking, she just gotta shoot the projectiles, bro, and she good. But you mentioning that and you kind of breaking it down, it opened my eye on that.
Yeah, for the most part, she's weirdly a very linear character with a lot of mix-ups, and that's probably a weird sentence. Linear character with a ton of mix-ups, because her mix-ups are all in the same rotation. I'm always going to try to mix up and get you with charge shot or back air. You know what I'm going to try to mix you up with? Just how I'm going to mix you up is kind of the difference. And so that's kind of the thing where it's hard to physically just lab her combos, because like I said earlier, you could lab all day and still get your ass beat by someone who's good at neutral.
Exactly.
And so the character like her compared to say Pokemon Trainer or Pac-Man, where to do those big damages, you need to really physically play the game. You don't really need to do that with Samus. So like, I don't know, like I said, I never really sat down in the lab with her specifically, but for lab advice with just any character in general, because I have definitely obviously done that. It helps with just in general the whole game. I think it's important whether you want to get good at combos, whether you want to get good at knowing how to hit a character. It's important to lab against different characters too. Like I see a lot of people's lab video, and it's always Chrom, it's always Falcon, it's always Donkey Kong or Ridley. That's the only people are doing these Twitter combos on, and it's like, okay, well now do that against Toon Link.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now go do that against Pichu. You can. It's still a true combo, but it's 10 times harder now because of how small these characters are. So I think when people are labbing, they need to do those combos over and over again already. That's obviously like the first. Do your combos, keep doing them over and over again until you can hit it 10 times in a row. I think that's something I personally do. But do them on characters you probably can't even really hit the combo on true, but just so you know where their weight's at, you know what they're going to do. You know how their DI can affect that.
That's good.
And that's something that kind of hit my mind earlier, because it would be sometimes where I just can't hit those combos. But it was just like, bro, all it is about is just knowing your strength, like knowing your setups and just having the muscle memory. So when you're in that situation in neutral, you can execute it. You know what I'm saying? And that was my problem, like just learning with Falcon, is that, yeah, I had the good neutral, but I didn't know how to follow up after that because I didn't lab my combo. You know, that's one thing that you gotta lab, like labbing strings and stuff like that, and just knowing that. But I think essentially you kind of hit the nail on the head, is just playing the game and just having that player experience.
All right.
Yeah, that's what so nice about 80 characters too. It's like, I mean, hey, a little bit of a blunt thing. If you don't want to lab all your combos, play Bowser. You don't really got to lab his combos because he sides beats you and you take 26. So, or you take like, I think it's like 21, but it's still a lot for one move. He's only got to hit you 5 times, and he's fast and he's like this. But the negative side of that is you have to be dummy and neutral if you fight someone who's got a lot of combos. If you fight a Pikachu or a Falco as Bowser, if you don't have a good neutral, you're taking 90 every time you get touched.
Yep.
That is true.
Yep. All right. So yeah, I think that's everything. Shit. Any questions?
Really good discussions.
Thoughts. You know, what are they called? There was like a saying.
You want to do chat questions, maybe?
Sure, if they want to. So I saw some cool stuff. I saw Gabe said this was back when we were talking about our mains. He said, the way I find my main was from Brawl. I played Sonic, and when I played Subspace, I thought Pit was really cool, so I played him. Oh, so that's dope. Then Mighty Fox Lover said, to be honest, like I could never find the right character that could fit my playstyle. And then I finally got to King K. Rool, and he fit me so well, and then Banjo came out, and I said I was done, and these are my mains, and that's all. They fit with me. They fit with how I played so well. My friends hate how I play, but I'd rather let them be mad than play characters I can't fit the way I play. So,
can I jump in on that one? So, we were talking a lot about just like characters and our strong suits and playing to that. It sounded like, and you know, obviously, if you're really good at neutral, you're going to play with characters that are very neutral based and rely on that. Like for Falcon, for example, you've got to have strong neutral game in order to excel. You know, for like projectile characters, you've got to know the flow chart of like, you know, what are all the different ways my opponent can counter my game, and how do I go a step further and punish them for coming in, you know, things like that. So like for the whole, you know, not giving a shit about, you know, how mad people get, like, good. That's the mentality to have. And just like take it a step further and try to learn how to like not always rely on that too. Like I picked up Banjo when Banjo came out for the sole reason, and I think we brought this up earlier too, where it's like I got spanked by a Banjo online, like straight up 3-stocked, like when the game, well, like when Banjo came out, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? So then I picked him up, and Banjo became a strong pocket of mine that I actually went to in tournaments and beat my bracket demons with, solely because Banjo covered a lot of bases that my main couldn't. Right, so it's about knowing that too. So definitely don't feel bad about, you know, hurting people's feelings when it comes to beating them in the game. As long as you're not a dick about it and like rub it in their face, you're totally fine. But yeah,
Wait.
with that being said, I actually have to bounce, but that's just wanted to give that my perspective on
Wait,
that
who's
before.
who's rubbing dick in whose face?
Hey, hey,
Hey.
Oh, he's out.
the moment somebody does that in a tournament, they're banned for life.
Hey, I don't.
Isn't
People
this
smell
turned
really
up?
weird.
Let's go.
See you later, Cypher. Thanks for
No
thanks for
one's
coming
taking
by.
anyone's face.
We're
Yo,
gonna,
of course. Yo, thanks for having me. And yo, Tofu, nice
Hey, have a
to
good
meet
one.
you.
dude. Hell
Good to
yeah,
meet
dude.
you. Yeah, for sure. Hope you
Right
have a
on.
great rest of your day.
And yeah, I think we're ready to wrap this bit up.
Yeah, for the most part.
So yeah, thanks everybody for coming by. Thanks. I hope your questions got answered, everybody. And this is going to be uploaded on YouTube very, very soon. But I really, really appreciate everybody for stopping by and supporting this. It is a huge amount of effort from everybody's part. So yeah, later, guys.